Right, let's get into it. I'm super excited. I just shared on stories that I was going to go live. So, for those of you who are here, welcome along. I'm going to get Victoria to come in and chat. I'm chatting to Victoria today to discuss how she's going and what it's like being inside the. Here we go. Because she's a retail store, I've got a mixture of retail stores and brands that I work with inside my roadmap and my membership program. So I wanted to have Victoria come on. Hello, Victoria.
Hi, how
Hi.
are you?
Good. How
Good,
are you?
thank you.
That's. Thank you so much for joining me. We're here.
Very
We've made it
excited.
live.
I'm a wee bit nervous, but
This is your first live, right?
my first live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Here we go.
So,
This is good.
give me a room full of preschool children or a shop full of ladies, and I'm fine. But talking to you one on one with people we don't know is a wee bit nerve-wracking. But that's all
It's a
good.
bit scary.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Just pretend no one else is here anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So thank you. So I wanted just to get to you first of all, just to tell me a little bit about you and your background, and what your business is.
So I initially was an early childhood teacher. So I was an early childhood teacher for 30 years, retired from teaching coming up 3 years ago now, and had always said to my husband, when I retire, I'm going to open a shop. I've always loved retail, always loved shopping, always loved fashion, used to take friends' dress, styling with them, all that kind of thing. And the business came up for sale, and everything just all fell into place. And it was near where I used to teach, so I knew the area really well. I knew basically what the ladies were like and how they like to dress, and that's kind of where it started, really. Sometimes they say things all fall into place, and it really, really did. So
it did.
yeah.
And so, where are you based, and what sort of stuff do you have in your store?
So we're based here in Maryvale, Christchurch, which in New Zealand, which is a really beautiful part of our city. It's a shopping destination. We've got a beautiful mall across the road, and then we also have a really great range of wee boutique shops around us. We've got a beautiful florist shop, and we've got lovely giftware shops and beauty therapy and shoe stores and all those sorts of things. And we stock women's clothing. So I love a good dress. So for me, it's all about stocking beautiful dresses. That was my always been in my business plan. And from there, we also obviously stock really nice clothes. So great jeans and beautiful tops. And I've got my favourite blazer on today because I love a beautiful blazer. And was one of my favourite dresses. So so that's what we're all about, and we want women to come in and have a really positive shopping experience. A lot of women come in quite overwhelmed, often a little anxious, and I think because I've worked with so many sensory people in my previous career, and I mean that with not only children but adults as well, I know how to set up an environment that is not overwhelming, even down to the music we play, how we display our stock, so that they get a chance to come in, and then we just have a good way of knowing that they're ready for us to help them out. That's us.
That's great. And I know when you first bought the business, you didn't keep it exactly the same as what it was, did you? Like, you really edited what sort of product you had in store and the brands and stuff you had in store as well.
I wanted to really have my own brand. I bought an existing business, and I kept some of the brands, and basically just built on that. There was some good foundations there. But I really wanted it. It was my business, and I wanted it to reflect me as. Even the name of our store is Darcy, because I love Mr. Darcy so much that the shop is named after him, because he's so gorgeous. Often get called Darcy, so that's what it's the fun thing about it. But so for me to choose brands, it wasn't just like I'm going to have that and I'm going to have that and I'm going to have that. I've researched for weeks. You posted the other day about how you found your little wee book of all the things you were going to be
Oh,
doing to setting up
yes.
your business. I had
Yes.
the same
Yes.
thing, not quite as beautiful a book because it was during a bit of a COVID time. And I actually researched all the boutiques in my
Mm.
city, but also around New Zealand. I started following city by city, and it wasn't to take ideas. It wasn't to. It was about, and it's what I used to do when I used to visit preschools. It's about getting experiencing the feeling and what they were offering and how they did it,
Mm.
and learn about some of the different designers that I didn't know about. So then I go and research them, and if they aligned with what I loved, then I approached them.
Mm.
And I'm very much, people come into our store and say, oh, I haven't seen that, I haven't heard of that, I haven't seen that, and that's what I want. I don't want to be a cookie cutter. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that
a lot of time,
research and yeah, it's amazing because you want to be different, as you said, like you want it to have something unique about it, and the whole joy of searching and finding and being the buyer. Like that's what you obviously wanted to do. You wanted to have that
yeah,
experience of that buying as well.
yeah, buying. Oh my God, buying is I mean, so fun, but it's, oh my God,
Scary.
it's so scary because I remember when we first bought the shop, and I started approaching brands and doing my first buying session, and it was a Zoom call, and oh my God, the lady was so fabulous. She's so lovely, and
Mm.
she must have thought, oh my God, who have I got here? I was really faking it till I was making it that day, and then I got off the phone and I said to my husband, oh my God, I've just spent this much on clothes, like thousands, thousands.
I
And you
think
can
one of the
either
things
sit,
yeah,
you can
no, you go.
either rock in the corner, or you can just go, okay, we'll sort. And honestly, it turned out fine. You've got to sort of,
Yeah.
it's some people will say to me, why didn't you buy that brand sells a pink jersey as well? Why didn't
Mm.
you buy that as well? And you explain to them, well, I have a budget too,
Mm.
and I have to make sure that what I
Exactly.
buy, the top from that goes with the pants I've bought from another label, and the blazer looks great with that dress. You've got to, in my head, that I
Yeah.
see how it all is. So, but it's
Yeah.
buying's great. I have great designers, great agents. They're all super people, and they know me and they know the store really well, and they know I ask 5 million questions and I ring up a
Mm.
lot, but I
But
want to
that's building that
do their product.
relationship with them as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's something we've worked on. So you're in my membership and
yeah,
obviously now part of the roadmap,
yeah.
and you've been part of all my different programs for a little while. And I think you found me initially because I think, as you said, like you'd come into this as a complete newbie to retail in the space. You're
Mm,
like, I need some sort of guidance of, because I've never done it before, or I've never been in this
mm,
space. So how can I get some help from someone who's obviously been there a little bit before?
yeah. Because I had run a very successful preschool,
Hmm.
and I have come from my family all have had their own businesses. My husband has a very successful business, so I had some good sort of people to help me.
Yeah.
But the thing with retail is it's a bit of a different game, isn't it?
Yeah.
And sometimes just it's like when I was a new mum and my daughter was having trouble sleeping, and I spoke to a sleep expert.
Mm.
Now I had my mum and my mother-in-law and all these lovely people that could help me, but I really needed someone who was a little separate
Mm.
and who could
Mm.
tell me how it is, and that's why it was really good. So I found you actually just during that research time, and I found your
Mm.
podcast, and I devoured
Yeah.
that, and then
Okay.
I found the website, and I was like, that was way. And and because it just really, really, really helped. But being part of the roadmap was good because we had modules that we worked through as well. And
Mm. Mm.
as I'm rejoined because I find it so valuable.
Yeah.
Even I'm learning. There's so much to learn,
Yeah.
and
And
you
it's
know,
overwhelming, I guess. And that's where it's like, okay, if I can strategically work through certain things, then you know that
yeah,
you're on the right track as well.
yeah. Because there was one of the modules I think we were working on our online store, and I haven't done. I mean, I know if you look at that today, you go, Victoria, but I need to go and do some more work on it. But it's because you can't do everything, and so it's good to be able
No.
to go
Yeah.
back, have okay, this time we're going to focus on this part of it and
Mm.
work on that, learning how to do that, and that's what I love about the program, and also just having someone I can contact if something happens and you just need, it's not hand holding, but it's just knowing that there's someone there that knows what you're talking about that could either send you in the right direction or that's
Yeah.
normal
And it's
or
that bouncing ideas off someone, especially when you are running your business by yourself. And obviously, yeah, you've got support and help, but um, sometimes the people who don't know the situation or don't know your business, or they're coming at it from a different perspective. So, yeah, being able to know, oh, if I have a issue or I have something I'm debating on deciding between, like I think we spoke about you having a using your upstairs space and how you could use that in a different way. So like that was something that obviously you just needed that someone to
yeah,
ask a question,
yeah.
really.
And that's something that still might happen yet. I like what happens to a lot of business owners, you run out of time a little bit, but
Yes.
that is something that we'll still do. But you just need to, because sometimes you have all these ideas and they might seem a bit crazy, but you just need someone you can talk it out with and go, actually, yeah, that's a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
try and
Yeah.
refine it.
Yeah, absolutely. And because one of the questions someone had for me actually was whether the retails, because I work with, obviously, I work with retail stores
Yeah,
and brands. So, but I know you've had a great collaboration with a couple of people as well
yeah,
from being inside the program.
yeah. So I think one of the very early when I first
Yeah.
found you and you did a podcast about packaging, and
Yes.
that was when I was just getting into how am I going to do my packaging for my online store and all that kind of stuff, and that's where
Yeah.
I found etiquette,
Yeah.
and um, she's really, it's so weird how alike we are, even down to our hair, and background. She was an early childhood teacher too, and it's weird, but
Yeah.
I we stock her brand. We're the only stockists of it in New Zealand. I use it. I love it. And come over to New Zealand to see her family. And when she's been here, she's done styling sessions as well because she has also her
Yes.
other page in her blog that she does as well. But it's been when we do catch up, we do talk about business, and it's nice to. She's going through similar things that I am, and that's what's quite good with the group. Even though we have our group calls and there'll be the wholesale ladies on there, and there'll be the retail people on there too. It's really interesting. We're all in the same boat.
That's
When
right.
times
Yeah.
everybody, and sometimes you just need. It's really good because you just kind of perk us up again. Away we go again, and you don't feel quite so. Nervous. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that's the thing with owning your own business. You do worry about things like that all the time, but it's good to know that you've got a team of people that we're all in the same boat. But you always swing it round. You always check in with everybody, and if anyone's got a question, everyone's question gets answered, which is really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good point actually, because I think some people were like, oh, how many people are you going to have in there? And it's a group call, so I'm not going to have that time. But I think that's the thing, like I keep it small and not everyone comes to every
no,
session and stuff like that. So it's definitely opportunity for everyone to have their say or their specific thing that they want to talk
yeah,
about
and
can
that's
come
where
up.
you can pop it in the Facebook group. You can pop a question in there. You can
Yeah.
quickly zip in, pop it in the chat, and you'll come to it. And I think there was the last session I was at the shop by myself that day,
Yeah.
and it had been really quiet all day, really quiet. And just as the group call happened, 50 million people arrived in the shop, and I'm holding there with the fitting room behind a curtain talking to you, trying to get a question in, and then I was just like, I've got to go. Sorry, I've got to go. But you know, I watched it back,
Yeah.
but you just do what you do. But I enjoy the group sessions. They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's
that's
good.
where the growth kind of give you that next layer now, so it'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, like you're busy, you're a retail store owner, like you've got a lot going on, but I think it's also somewhere to check in, isn't it? To like, okay, well, where am I at? How am I feeling? Is everyone feeling the same? Or what can I take from the, one person's experience? And it can really help you just keep going and motivated and sort of, that knowing that you're not alone, I guess, as you
Yeah,
mentioned, is good.
I think the roadmap's good because of the modules, and it makes you think, okay, I need to put a couple of hours aside a week to just knuckle down, not on accounts, not on ordering, not on zhuzhing shop, but actually on some nuts and bolts stuff that we could
Yeah,
just do a little, because I
that's a
think I
good
see
point
you.
actually, because yeah, it's
It's
so
so
much.
easy. Oh, I won't do it. But you are the teacher. You will always be a teacher, and you often see some of you haven't done that module yet, and that you think, okay, I better get in there and do it. So we need that.
I think like it's just one of those things I didn't even realize. Like I have spent my whole life teaching, which pretty much I used to be a personal trainer.
Mm,
I was a instructor in a gym and stuff like that as well. I used to be a movement
mm,
teacher. Then I was a high school maths and science teacher. Then I was a lecturer. It's like
yeah,
and now I'm a coach. Like it's one of those things that I think it's natural for me, and I do love that transfer of knowledge and to motivate and inspire. But I think you do have to have. I didn't realize that I had them probably a while ago until more and more people have said to me like having that practical, this is how you go about doing things,
mm,
um, and also teaching in a number of ways. And you would know this in terms of whether it's visual, audio, or like you're actually giving step-by-step instructions. Like everyone does learn differently as well, and I think
yeah,
that's a really important thing that as a teacher you do understand that a little bit more as a former
yeah.
teacher.
Such a good point, because you can sit there and you can say, I want you to go into your Shopify store and you're going to click on this and click on that and click on that. Well, I'm sorry, I've gone.
Yeah,
I need to see how you're doing that. And I am a pen and paper girl, and I always sit here with my book, and it's not that I go back to that, but it's somehow that's how it gets into
yeah,
my head.
yeah.
And and I think I said to you a wee while ago, I made a few changes that you suggested on on one of my descriptions on one of my products.
Mm.
And I think within like an hour of doing that, I had a lady ring me up and say, oh, you've got a brown skirt that's got an elasticated waist and a pleated front. And I'm coming in to get it. And I was like, oh, great. And, we sold out of them. And it was kind of, it was just one little thing.
Yeah, I think that was the SEO
Yeah,
stuff because it was like, how do you speak like your customer? And she'd
yeah,
obviously searched for what she was looking for in terms of the specificity of it, and
yeah,
you'd put that in the description,
yeah.
which she'd found you.
Yeah, and when you said that, I was like, oh, who does that? But actually, people do it. A lot of people do it. I'm trying to make my as much as I can, like I talk with people in the shop. That's a bit of a new thing I'm trying
Mm.
now. So I'm trying to put a
Yeah.
little bit of a, we quote from me, love these jeans because they're high waisted, and I find them really
Mm.
comfortable. This and this and this, and you should try, and just sign it off, Victoria, and hopefully people will get that that's me. And
Yeah.
just
Well, I think that is an important part actually because yeah, people get stuck on, how do I write my product descriptions, or how do I write my captions in for Instagram and stuff like that? How do you write it in email? I often do say to people, just say it like you are, like even if you use something like Otter to capture your voice to text, and so essentially you're saying something and then it converts into text. That can become part of your use of captions or
yeah,
descriptions. But as you say, like you've got experience in a store, you sell into a store every day, you talk to people in person. So, yeah, using some of that because some of the stiffness of the product descriptions that maybe exist, that's not how you would say it to someone. So, you're not going to walk up to someone in a store and say, oh, look at the 20 centimeter blah, blah,
yeah,
blah
yeah,
pocket, or, like it's just not the
yeah.
language. So, being more natural in your language is, yeah, really
We were
important.
I was writing one yesterday in the shop actually, and a
Yeah.
customer, and we were talking about these jeans she was looking at, and I said, what I want to write in my description is they're bloody nice jeans. Just buy them. And what was written there, and I read it out, and she was like, oh yeah. And I said, they're really good jeans. So anyhow, I didn't write that, but they are good. They do give you product descriptions, but you've still got to check them for spelling mistakes, and you want to look a little different. And I've
Yeah.
learned all about that through.
Yes.
want to look a little different from the other shop in town that's selling them, because people do read there. It's actually
Yeah.
quite interesting. The number of
Mm.
people that come in and say, I've been trawling through your website all night and these are the
Yeah.
things I want to try, you know?
That's amazing. And I think that's something too, like not everyone's behavior is your behavior. So you might not read product descriptions, or you might not say read emails, but doesn't mean other people
No,
don't, and doesn't mean other people behave and act differently when they're in the purchasing decision
yeah.
phase.
And for sure, I don't do every product description perfect, and you'll see that when you go through,
Yeah.
because the busiest time for retail, because we've got all our new winter stock coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And, um, and you've got to, it arrives, you've got to check it off, you've got to steam it, you've got to find a place for it, and then you've got to get it online, and the photos can't be too big, otherwise your website's too slow. And
Mm-hmm.
um,
Actually, that's a really good point for the brands, if any brands are listening. And again, this is that connection that I love between brands who wholesale and retail stores, and why I love the connection between the two of them in my programs and stuff. It's because first of all, I've been both of them too, so I've got that
yeah,
perspective of different sides of it. But like you just said, you're busy, you're trying to get your products up. How brands give you that information and make it so much easier for you to get loaded up quickly
yeah,
is really important.
yeah,
And the photos is one thing in terms of the size of the file, the different things that they give you. Like, let's say it's a dress, you want to have a front and back view and a lifestyle shot as well as
yeah,
a product shot. And then you want them to be named properly, because if you're searching through all the photos to load them onto their website, to your website,
mm,
you need to know without looking at the photo, what the description says, that makes it easy for people to load up. So let's
mm,
say it says, shirt, front view, lifestyle shot, or whatever it is. Like, actually tell people what the photo is, so it's
yeah.
easy to load on your website.
Because once if you get it and it's ginormous, and then you've got to screenshot it, and then you've got to rename it all, and and for sure that might not take a lot of time, but when you're doing
A
100,
lot.
I mean, my desktop frightens my family, because I don't, and once a year I do a big cleanup of it. But, it, so that is sort of how it rolls. And then of course we've got stock take that we need to do for end of financial year this week. So
Oh yeah, because New Zealand's end of March, isn't it? I forget
um,
that they're all different all around the world, which is crazy.
all of Easter weekend, and
Yeah.
you know, yeah, we just do what we
Yeah.
can do, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but that's where it's good working with the wholesale team as well, because we get their perspective of it as well.
Mm.
The
And I
importance.
think you can work, you can both, people can work so much better together than what they do currently. I think, I talk about all the time, Steve. Uh, yeah. We talk about all the time that working as, like, collaborating with each other, like, the
Mm,
better that your brands can promote the stores,
mm,
then that they sell through faster, and they tell people that it's in there, it's better for everyone. And some brands feel like, oh, if I promote my stores and I'm going to get less sales, but
no,
they've got a different customer base, and the more you can promote your stores, because you're selling that product that they might be selling online way better in store, and with more communication and relationship with your customers than someone buying it from a website. Like, I know you sell online as well, but the way that you as a retailer supports that brand to sell more is, it's a huge thing.
mm. And, and I think it's all down to relationships. And I think because we're former teachers, we get that really, really, really.
Mm.
And I know it's really hard for brands when they might not be local, but it's so lovely when they're even if once a year they could do a wee trip to their different stockists,
Stockists, yeah.
um, and just check in. Like the agents for most of my brands, if they're not in Christchurch when they're in town, they'll pop in and see me, and I just love it, because it's really important
Yeah.
in my space that you see. It's sort of my environment.
Yeah.
It sort of understand who we are and what we are, because that's what's so lovely about boutiques, is that each boutique is owned by a different person who has a different approach to things and likes different. That's where you get that originality and uniqueness. And
Yes.
that's, I think that really needs to be sort of celebrated. But I love it when they come and visit. I really, really do.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
I'm selling, they can kind of see how we sell and they can kind of see how we display things. Or if something's not working or selling that great, then they might say, hey, how about we swap that out and we'll do this for you instead.
Yeah.
Those sorts of things are really, really, really helpful. But the other side of it is when we come to do ordering, they can say, hey, time you needed to top up on that 3 times. Maybe you should do it.
Maybe go heavier on, deeper on that one, or yeah. And that's touching on that. I mean, that's something that we're always adding to the roadmap, which I'm going to, have special retail things for that
Yeah,
particular as well, that buying,
yeah,
because it is really hard to get it right, and it's always a work in progress, as you know, and probably Steve would tell you as well, that
yeah,
the data on what's sold and how much you need of each style or category in your store. And I mean, it's always learning,
yeah.
right? Like you've got to, you always, with buying, I think it is an art and a science. Like you can't just be
No,
data,
no.
because it's all about your gut and how you feel about the particular styles and things like that. But you do need to use some data to inform your next buy, your next year's season.
Yeah, and that's something I'm looking forward to
Mm.
be doing. I think for me, I work in the store so much, which is good and also sometimes
Yeah.
tricky because I need to as well. But it is very important because I have that connection with my customers and I'm learning so much about what fits them, what they like, what they don't like. So when I do see something I'm not sure about, I do buy a smaller amount of it. And if it flies, great. And if we can get some more, that's great. But it doesn't, I know I haven't sort of outlaid too much, but it's,
Yeah.
my husband
It's a
Steve,
balance.
you can have every piece of data and you can still cock it up and buy, a
Too
flamingo
much.
coloured t-shirt that you and,
I think it's,
comes and asking for it and you're like, oh,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. No matter what, like yeah, buying for retail is tricky, and you'll get more of something because everyone loved it, but then that won't work the
yeah,
next time or
yeah,
whatever. So it is just it's, and this is where that importance of selling your product um, fast is there, in terms of not fast as in fast fashion, but the more you can sell when things get delivered into store, the faster you
yeah,
can sell it, the more chance you're getting that best margin on it.
yeah,
And then you can get that chance to get new stock again,
yeah.
right? So it's that fine line of you don't want to hold on to stock too long,
No,
and you don't want to have too much cash sitting in your stock that's been sitting there for too long.
yeah, you can't. Someone told me once you can't bank a skirt, and
You can't,
and
what,
you
sorry?
can't bank a skirt. You can't.
Oh,
And as much as you want to,
yeah.
you can't. So you have to, and it doesn't matter how much you love it. It doesn't matter if it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. If it's not
Mm.
selling, you just have to slash it,
Yeah.
and you have to move it
Yeah.
on and learn from it. But it might not,
First, before you do that, definitely, and this is all obviously all the things that we would, you do anyway, I'm sure,
yeah,
but like the re-merchandising, styling,
yeah,
all sorts of
yeah.
stuff too, to like, okay, well, how could that
It
be
takes me a long time to get.
viewed differently?
Yeah,
Sorry?
it takes me a long time to get to that where we cut it.
Yes. Yeah.
But because it is that, yeah, you stick it on the mannequin, and all of a sudden you could have had someone that comes into your shop every week, and they go, "Oh my god, I've never seen that," and
Yeah.
and the right body. Um, but yeah, I think in the old days, from talking to people, a lot of people used to hold on to stock, and we'll bring it out again. But people are savvy shoppers these days, and they do go online here, and so as a retailer and a business owner, you've got to be aware of that. And yeah, it's a
Just
balance.
cycle of, yeah, fashion too, which makes it
Yeah,
tricky. But yeah, and that's, I guess that's where it's always evolving, right? Like
yeah,
you get better at certain things, or certain things happen, but you've got to keep moving and evolving and trialing and testing different things.
Mm.
Like I think sometimes people have like VIP nights, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But you've got to keep testing and seeing what your customers
Yeah.
respond to as well.
The best nights we did was actually at Christmas time, and I remember you saying to me ages ago, if you should do some flyers and put them in letter boxes and
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah.
And um, fairly
Old school,
typical me.
old school
Old, old
marketing.
school marketing, and fairly typical me. It was sort of getting, I think it was like the third week of December, and I was like, shit, I've really got to do this Christmas night that I printed off all these flyers. I didn't put them in letterboxes. I just gave them to every single person that came in the shop,
Yeah.
and I see what happens. And that was, I was at the shop by myself that day because I thought, oh, I'll just get a few people coming. Oh my God, it was so busy. I had to get my husband, daughter in. Amazing, a really fun day. But they took those little flyers home and just had them on their bench or on their fridge, and they
Mm.
just one of my ladies, her husband wasn't very well. She still came,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
She's like, I'm
really,
out of here. I'm connecting with community
yeah,
too. It's bringing that community
yeah, it
factor.
was so much fun, and we have this sort of private fitting room in the shop, and so everyone was just in there helping each other. I didn't really need to do anything; they just looked after themselves because they're
Oh,
just
that's lovely.
ladies. But it just goes to show you don't have to pay for a million ads and stuff like that. Sometimes just keeping it real and
Mm,
just talking to your customers and just putting a sign up in the window. It's
mm,
amazing how many people pass your shop walking the dog in the morning.
mm.
You
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
I love my window displays as well, and I
I
think
know.
yeah, having some fun things, especially if you travel, you sort of pick up different
Yeah,
things. I saw Kirsten's in
I know.
Italy at the moment. I can see some of her
Yeah,
photos
I,
coming.
I know. I want to get. I really want to get really lovely mannequins.
Yeah.
Because I've seen lovely ones with wooden hands and they can actually hold like wine glasses and stuff like that. I don't know where to find them. I've got
Uh,
a time thing.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, because I love visual merchandising. I
Mm,
used to preschool setting up beautiful um, tabletop activities for the children in a beautiful way, and yeah, and that's what I love to do.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. And
from
that's
my
it. And that's it. Like having your own retail store, of course, it can be hard. It's not easy, but
no,
you're doing what you love doing, right? Like you can working with people, you're buying, you're curating your, store the way you want it to be. You're doing your visual merchandising. Like you're enjoying the day that you have, even though it's not always, smooth sailing.
no. I never feel, oh God, I've got to go to work. I never
Mm,
feel like I I can be tired for sure and
mm,
my
mm,
legs ache, but that's a good thing because that means,
mm,
it's been busy. And for sure it's nice to sometimes have a wee breakaway from the place. But even when we're not at the shop, we might be out somewhere and Steve and I are talking about business, or we're talking about the shop, or we're talking about, oh, find a ladder to display something on, or,
mm,
it's just it's just a part of our life. But I do get a lot of joy from it. I've
mm,
always loved being with people. It's a big part of me. I could never work in an office and
mm.
not, oh God.
Interact.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
like, no.
but and I come in the morning, and the first thing I do is I go and see Paul, our local barista down the road, and we grab a coffee, and I see quite a few of my customers down there, and sometimes I'm a bit late opening because I'm talking to them and they're asking about what I'm wearing, and next thing they're down the shop. Then I pop into the florist later on, and it's it is. I cracked up the other day because as I walked back to the shop, everyone from all the shops around me was like waving, hi, hi. And I was thinking, oh, it's just like the Street song, who are the people in your community? And I'm like, oh, these are my people.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's really lovely. And that is definitely, I think we could talk for hours, but we better wrap it up in a
Oh,
minute. But one thing I want to say is that where you are as a retail store, like your location is such a crucial element. And as you just mentioned, like the type of stores around you has an impact on your customers and whether they're coming to you. So really considering if you're opening a retail store, where it is huge. And then, as you say, you're part of a community too. So you're surrounded by other people, which is,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think what's one of the most important things I did was research the stores around me, who what they stocked, who they were, how they started, their hours, how they displayed, all that kind of stuff. And it's not about copying or anything like that. It's about knowing knowing their business, because I respect them so much. I don't want to encroach on them or take away from what they do, because a lot of the retailers around me are very experienced retailers. They've been here for many years. I've grown up knowing these brands, you know. But I made a point of going and introducing myself, getting to know them all. Many of them have been very open with
That's good.
feedback and that kind of thing. And the other thing I do is I also go and look in their shops and see what they've got, because if someone comes in wanting a pair of pants and I don't have that particular pair of pants, I'd much rather go to the shop across the road and buy it and keep the money in my area. And we look after each other. And I have that with the stores across the road. They're chain stores, and they send people to me because I have the type of dress that people are looking for. And
that support is amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And but that takes work. That's not an overnight thing. You've got to be a wee bit
develop that. Yeah,
and support them too. Go and buy stuff from them, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Amazing, Victoria. Thank you so much for joining me. It's just been so good. I think we could talk for a lot longer, but I will see you in the group call, which I think we've got one later today. So hopefully you can make that.
Yeah, I'll be booked out the day today.
Yeah.
And I've got one more meeting today, and then
You'll see me
off
there.
to see you later.
Amazing.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you so much. And definitely, Darcy Boutique Maryvale, have a look at Victoria's website, even though you, as you say, like, check out those descriptions, give us some comments on Instagram, and and let her know that you're following. And yeah, you have an amazing mix of fashion products, you know, clothing, accessories, and everything. So definitely check it out and support her as well. Thank you.
Mel, for everything. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. Love having you part of the group. It's so good. All right. Thanks, Victoria.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.